Welcome back to the channel, guys. As you can see, I've got a dining room table full of clothes, and no, this isn't a Facebook Marketplace ad. I am packing and getting ready to go on a backpacking trip this weekend, and one of the most asked questions that I get from not only my friends, my family, but my coworkers is, how do I choose the clothing that I'm packing with me? Because you can only take what you bring. You can't bring everything. How do you go about that thought process? The way I layer. And since I was packing for a trip, I thought, what better way to explain it than to do it right now in a real life scenario. So hang with me and we'll get into it. All right, so let's go over some details. For me, it is end of January. The weather outside is frightful. No. The highs are going to be mid-30s. Lows are going to be mid-teens. This is just an overnight trip for me. So I always look at the weather. I'm always diligently tracking it up until the time that I'm leaving, and even the morning of. That's something I'm keeping a close eye on. All my clothes are going to go in a dedicated dry bag. It's one of the last things I pack, so I can make substitutions pretty last minute if I need to. And so when you talk about layering, we're going to talk about base layers, mid layers, and your outer layers, your shell layers. We're going to get into all that, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm going to be bringing. So let's start with what is closest to your skin. Those are your base layers. And for me, it always starts the same way. I usually go with a Under Armour compression muscle shirt. And if it's cold like it is right now, they're going to be Under Armour tights, either full length or 3/4 length, always. So these are not the cold weather variant. These are just the heat gear. There's no insulation. It's just something to put between your skin and the cold air. If I'm not wearing tights, I'm going to be in a pair of these. These are Patagonia essential boxers. Another question I get a lot is, if you're gone for 2 or 3 days at a time, how many pair of underwear are you bringing? I'm bringing one. It's one of those embrace the suck. We're just going to get dirty. We're going to smell. That's the way that it is. So it's only a hang up if you let it be one. So on top of my compression layers are going to be my Patagonia Capilene mid-weight base layers. So moisture wicking, long sleeve, cover up. These, to be a mid-weight, are extremely warm. I don't own the thermal weight because I just think they would be too hot. You're not getting all your warmth from one layer. So I tend to shy away from things that are going to keep me extra warm. That's what this stuff up here is for. So let's drop that out of the way. So on top of my compression layer, on top of my base layer, it's going to be something synthetic, something quick drying. Again, if I'm going a short sleeve, I've got a bunch of these. You can catch them on sale bunch. This is the Patagonia Capilene fast dry shirt, short sleeve. And these are the long sleeves. So long sleeves are SPF rated, quick drying, moisture wicking, the whole 9 yards. For pants, it's going to be an athletic cut, most likely for me a jogger. If you're not into joggers, that's fine. I'm not here to talk about fashion. This is just what I wear. These are Patagonia Terrebonne joggers. These are Outdoor Research Ferracis, I think. I think these are discontinued now, but man, I wish I had 4 or 5 pair of these. They are they're really fantastic. So those are my pants that I'm wearing. One or the other. I'm not bringing 2. So on top of either that short sleeve or that long sleeve quick dry material, it's going to be some type of fleece. It will never be cotton. If you're watching this type of content, you've probably already heard that cotton kills. Once cotton gets wet, its ability to keep you warm is zero. It takes forever to dry out. Really try to avoid cotton. If you take nothing else away from this video, avoid cotton. So this is another piece of Patagonia gear. This is what they call their micro dini fleece. This thing weighs next to nothing. Packs down relatively small. I have 2 of these. I have one in a large and one in an extra large. That may sound kind of crazy, but if I just have a short sleeve on underneath this, maybe not a whole lot of bulk, this fits fine. If I have 2 or 3 layers, my compression, long sleeve, that kind of deal, and I want it to be a little more loose fitting, that's when I'll grab my extra large. This is another fleece. This is a technical type of fleece. This is made by Outdoor Research. I believe they call it trail mix. It's got a hood, really comes in around your ears. A little bit heavier than that. And if this is not heavy enough, then, you know, I'll bust out something like this. Same deal, heavier, still fleece. It's still going to keep you warm when it's wet. And that's the whole idea of a mid layer. So maybe if the weather is nice enough, you don't even need what I'm going to get into over here, which is your down jackets, your synthetic jackets, that kind of deal. You might not even need that. You might just be able to get away with something like this and an outer shell. That's going to be up to you. It comes down to how you handle the cold, how comfortable you are living on the edge of just warm enough or too cold to be comfortable. That's going to come down to a personal choice for you. So these are all things that you would wear over top of that mid layer. So over that fleece, over that pullover, whichever. This is a synthetic vest. This is made by Big Agnes, and I cannot remember the name. Probably not important. But this is synthetic. Again, super warm. If it gets wet, it's okay. It's still going to keep you warm. You're not going to damage it. I'm not really a vest guy, but I do like this one. Quality piece. Moving on to another synthetic piece. This is Patagonia's Nano Puff. So no hood, synthetic insulation, super warm for what it is, weighs nothing. Has its own stuff pocket right there. You basically turn it inside out, fits in this little bag. Literally this entire jacket fits into something besides my hands. That's pretty fantastic as far as I'm concerned. And this is your puffy coat. This is my Cotopaxi 800 feel down jacket, super warm. I've literally been in about 25-degree weather with just my capilene base layer and this jacket. It is insanely warm. It's comfortable. I've had it for a good bit. The color was not my first choice, but it is what it is. At least you'll be able to see me coming. So, same deal. Most of your down jackets, they have their own little pocket that they store themselves in. Down jackets really aren't, it's all a preference. So in the world of, down jackets, you've got the cheap stuff, and when I say cheap, I mean price-wise, but Decathlon makes the MT100, I think, between $100, $150, depending on if you can catch it on sale. That is a fantastic down jacket. I don't own one, but I've only heard good things about it. Then on the upper end of things, you've got companies like Montbell, Big Agnes, Cotopaxi, Patagonia, Mountain Hardware, Rab. Sky's the limit if you want a down jacket, and cost is no option of yours. So the next layer you're going to get is your outer layer. So these kind of work two different ways. Not only are they going to be your waterproof layers, they're also going to shield you from the wind. So fleece is warm, but you can feel the wind through it. Down, again, warm, strong enough wind, you're going to feel the wind, and it's going to make you cold. So this is a very lightweight. This is not a rain jacket. This is more of a windbreaker type of thing. This is the Patagonia Houdini. Same deal. Stores itself in that little pocket. Packs up into nothing. Weighs nothing. You can see from this one, the patch on the sleeve. I've used this one quite a bit. There's a pretty large hole behind that patch. And this is my rain gear. The only time I will not carry rain gear is dead of summer, when I know for a fact that it's not going to rain. And even if it is dead of summer and it might rain, I still might not bring it. If you've ever worn rain gear with it 80 degrees outside and raining, you might not get wet from the rain, but you're going to be soaked in sweat by the time you're done. And that's not a good thing. Even in 65-degree weather, if you're soaked in sweat and you stop, you slow down, you start to cool off, you can get cold really quick. So these are my rain pants. They come from REI. Had them for a while. They're still dirty from last time I wore them. But it's rain pants. And then this is my rain jacket. This is Patagonia. I forgot the name. Torrent Shell. 3M, 3L, something like that. This is an expensive jacket, but it is extremely waterproof. It is extremely durable. And the beloved pit zips. So those are there to be able to shed heat without opening yourself up to getting wet. So underneath the armpits, most of your high quality rain gear are going to have some type of vent to vent out heat. And since I'm talking about that, these rain pants from REI, you have a full length zip all the way down the length of the leg to vent out heat. Also, if you unzip the pockets, the pocket liners are perforated. It's another way you can vent heat. And And for cold natured people like me, there is another facet of layering, and that comes down to my head. So if it's cold outside, most of the time I'm going to have on some type of beanie, toboggan, depends on where you're from. This is a Smartwool 100% wool beanie, and this by itself is insanely warm. It's insanely comfortable. Wool, the great thing about wool is even when it's wet, it still retains its warmth. So moisture wicking properties, heat retention when wet. It's hard to go wrong with wool. It is expensive. And this is the Outdoor Research Cold Front down beanie. So this is down. So it's made out of down, and it is insanely warm. It's a little goofy. Put it on. Not the most flattering thing, but it is insanely warm. And not often, but I have worn these two together, and you won't wear it for long before you start coming out of it. So let me reorganize everything I threw on the floor, and I will bring you back for the legitimate rundown of what I will be packing on this trip. So again, starting with what's closest to my skin, it's going to be my compression layers. On top of that, my capilene base layers, long sleeve, Patagonia quick dry, Outdoor Research Ferocity, my Outdoor Research fleece layer, the Big Agnes vest, puffy coat, and of course my rain jacket, my rain pants, my outer shell. Not because I feel like it's going to rain, but because if the wind starts whipping, that's going to protect me from feeling that wind coming through. And then both of these will also be coming. And just for good measure, a pair of Outdoor Research Trail Mix gloves. Pretty minimal, but warm enough, weigh next to nothing. That's going to be it. And so I usually keep my clothes in just a regular dry bag. They'll all get stuffed into there. Rain jacket will go on the outside of my pack so I can get to it easy. All of these I will be wearing most of the time. So puffy coat will go in its little bag. It'll get stuck in the pack, and that's it. I mean, that's kind of how I pack. That's how I layer. That's how I rationalize everything. And I hope that's helpful. I hope it gives you some insight. And I appreciate you watching. If you like what I'm doing, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And thanks again. We'll see you next time.